Okay, some people wanted to know if they could export various objects from Unreal 2004 um, so that they could use them in a 3D printer. So you want a STL file. So yes, so this is just a quickie on how to export objects from Unreal. So first of all, obviously open up Unreal Editor. I'm just going to choose a texture. I need an environment to put the objects in before export. So if I go to the builder brush, it's just going to be 256, so I just build that, and then I'll subtract it. So if this is just my working environment. For instance, if I wanted to export, for instance, the lightning gun, choose that as an object. So if I go into static meshes and I open static mesh weapons, the actual rifle, the lightning gun pickup is actually here, named as a sniper rifle. You can see there aren't that many weapons or anything here, and that's because the full package hasn't been opened. To open the full package, if I go to open and go and find weapon static meshes, you can see that a few more get added. Anyway, so here's my pickup. I'm just going to use this button, turquoisey button, to export my object. So that's my object. As you can see, with no lighting, it's pretty dark. I can, if you double click on it and go into the display properties, I can set the ambience of it. So there you go. Doesn't make any difference setting the ambience at all. So now if I select the object, I can just export, and as you can see, the format is either T3D or STL. So I'm going to export it as an STL. So yeah, just call it lightning, I suppose. Gun, and name the format that I want, because it has to be an STL. If you left it blank, I'm not exactly sure what it would be named as. Probably nothing very good. Anyway, at the moment it's just going to export into my maps folder. You can export to anywhere you want, but I don't care, I'll delete it later. The thing to note is it looks all very nice and pretty here. It all looks nice and smooth and roundy, but in actual fact it's not very smooth and roundy at all. If I go onto the perspective and choose the wire brush, you can see that it is quite angled, and when you come to 3D print, you'll find that it's quite angular. It's just the texture that gives it the sense of smoothness or roundness, if you like. But you can import the STL file into a program called Blender, and in Blender you can easily select this wireframe, and with a couple of clicks you can add a lot more polygons, as many as you want, to make all these angles rounder, which might be better for 3D printing. The other thing about when exporting this, because you want to 3D print it, it's probably best not to be horizontal. You probably might be better exporting it as a vertical item. Therefore you don't need to build as many wire filaments or bridges to print the object. So you can see here we've got this is top view, this is one side view, and this is another side view. I've already got the rotational, toggle rotation. It's already set on a grid, so if I hold down the control button and the Alt button, I can turn it vertical and then export it like that instead. Okay, so what if I wanted to export a character? Okay, let's go and find the characters. If I go into the actor classes, the easiest way is to use a pawn. So if I do an Unreal pawn and I do an X pawn, and because that is X pawn is selected, if I right hand click, you can see it comes in the menu that here's X pawn. Let's turn it round. So here he is, good old Jacob. Let's get rid of the gun. And again from here I don't know if it works or not, but I'll show you a different way in case it doesn't, because I'm not a 3D printer. But again, you could just do export as an STL. I don't know if skeletal meshes will export properly as an STL, but just in case it doesn't, the easiest thing to do is right hand click on it and do convert to static mesh. We always put things into my level. You can put it wherever you want, and I'll call it Jacob. Jacob, and export, and then go to my static meshes, go and find my level, and there's Jacob, and from here I can export. He's very tiny. I can easily change that in the display properties of him. So make him a 3 for instance, and export him there. So what about if I didn't want this pose, for instance? Let's get rid of the static mesh. So as you can see, the pose of him is pretty static. As you can see, the skeletal mesh in here, skeletal mesh, is Thunder Crash. So if I go to the animation tab and go and find Thunder Crash, turn it round a bit. So here is my Thunder Crash. And as you can see, these are the sequences that Thunder Crash can do, and if I move the animation bar, these are the sequences he can go through. You can choose lots and lots of different sequences to get the particular animation you want, like gesture point for instance. So how can I do that? Well, it's really very simple. Up here you've got an animate button for synchronous in level animation. So if I hit that button and then hit this button, which is a live real-time view, so my character changes wherever animation I have. You can see that the character always seems to go back to holding a gun. So just as another note, if you wanted to get a gun as well, so that you wanted him actually holding a gun, you could go and import a static mesh as in your weapon, weapon static mesh, and go get a gun, link gun pink up for instance, insert that into my level, insert that into the project, orientate it so that he's holding it properly, and then select both items and then export. And that's about it really. And again, if as this is still a skeletal mesh at the moment, I could just right hand click, do convert to static mesh, make it Jacob 2 or whatever, and then re-import the static mesh, put the gun on him if I wanted to export him with a gun, and then export them both to go into a file. Again, you can re-import these back into Blender. If you wanted to, I don't know what you want to do with it, but you can resize it, do whatever you want. Again, because even though these do have a lot more polygons than a normal, for instance, gun or whatever, they can still be a bit quite blocky. It's only the texture that kind of makes it look a bit more roundy. Anyway, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed.